Here's how to almost guarantee 5-star reviews with your haircutting consultations. What do I need to know about this person in order to do my job to the best of my ability? A consultation is a meeting to discuss, decide, or plan something. By definition, it must include discovery, professional advocacy, alignment, agreement, and action. A consultation is not a quick conversation, a singular question, a dictation from the client, a platform for what you know as the expert, or an argument about what should be done. Open the consultation, start with simply having a seat and asking the question, how can I help you today? This is where we sit back and hold a safe space. We witness their story. We let them be right. We learn boundaries. We seek to understand their why. We consider what else might be informing their preferences. This looks like active listening, because if I cannot see them, I cannot serve them. Your job is to listen and observe for context, to sense what is really being asked of you and what is not actually being said. Later, when you execute the service, the outcome and the client satisfaction become the validation that you understood the mission and had the technical skill set to execute the work. What are we listening for exactly? Well, relevant client demographics. First, what's their client experience? Are they new to you? Are they new to the salon? Are they new to salon services in general? When was their last haircut? Have they been traumatized before? Are they an experienced client who's been well maintained, who has just relocated to a new location? This matters because it tells you where to start, how to speak to them, and how to avoid two mistakes: insulting the learner and wasting your time. It also helps you understand their current emotional state. Are they cautious, anxious, or resistant? Or open, trusting, and adventurous? That tells you how to lead the consultation. Next, the service differential. What are they asking for today versus what they currently have? A normal 90-minute client can become a 3-hour service if they decide to fully transform their hair. And if the client is new to you, that differential requires more education, clarity, and consent. Next, we gently gather any cultural or identity-led considerations. This can include ethnicity, social behaviors, gender expression, age, or anything relevant to how they want to be seen and respected. We don't interrogate, we simply make space for consideration. Next, we assess anchor lifestyle factors like occupations, uniform restrictions, exposure to elements like being outside for work or in a kitchen. We'll also look at their fitness and hobbies. Do they need their hair pulled back daily? Do they sweat through their hair often? Do they swim and deal with chlorine or frequent shampooing? Then we look at routine and product behavior. What are they using now? What do they prioritize when buying products? Do they have allergies? Do they want ease and speed? Or are they willing to spend more time for more complex styles? Now we move on to client feature analysis. These are facts, and we use that information to design the most flattering silhouette. We assess the head shape, bone structure, and feature ratios. For head shape, we're going to look for the vertical, diagonal, and horizontal shifts. And we look for planes, large flat areas on the same angle of the head. And we can use our hands to feel for the head shape. And we can notice where the finger joints bend, feeling for the curves and where they're happening. And knowing that with every 15-degree shift or so, I may have to adjust my cutting angles to account for the change in the head shape. But we'll cover that in more depth in another video. But we also want to notice the widest part of the face, the depth of the curvature underneath the occipital protuberance, the height and the shape of the top of the head, more cone or a little flatter. This matters because if the hair springs back toward the head, and we need to know what shape the hair will most likely be springing back to. Next, we assess the bone structure and feature ratios. Take a look at the side profile and the chin. Next, facial proportions. This helps with the placement for the length and the framing and the fringe. Next, we assess the actual scalp and hair. We aren't dermatologists, but we do need to notice if there's a prominent issue. If it's healthy, proceed and go on. If not, have a quick conversation and connect them with a local resource before proceeding with services. Also, note the hairline changes and density shifts throughout, and growth patterns and calyx and whorls on the head. This will help us best guess how their hair might behave in those areas. Then we feel and observe the texture and the pattern, remembering that texture is the feel of the hair, the size and the diameter of the hair shaft, fine, medium, of course, and the pattern is the wave, curl, coil, or kink. Again, it's very common to have multiple textures and multiple patterns and multiple densities on one head. Knowing this affects where we leave length and how we build up the silhouette. For some, it's relevant to talk in depth about density and shedding patterns. Density is not always permanent. Some people can grow thick hair past their waist, and others can't grow hair past their shoulders, though it hasn't been cut in for years. This is because their shedding cycle and rate of hair growth is shorter, usually impacted by hormones, medications, injury, allergy, genetics, all kinds of things. What clients often notice with all of the shedding is performance changes, like curls falling flat or straight stringy pieces hanging out. We normalize that as well and explain that shedding cycle so that they can see that they are neither going bald nor will they likely be able to grow thick, luxurious hair down to their waist. Finally, we arrive at the client preferences. Preferences are the part the client can actually control. They can't control their head shape, their density, their texture, their natural pattern, but they can control their choice of salon and stylist, their behavior in their chair and the participation in the process, and of course, their preferences for length and vibe. Our job is to align those preferences with the facts in front of us. Their life. What about inspo photos? In 2026, that often means AI generated photos. So we ask, what is the client actually drawn to here? The back shape, the side, the silhouette, the fringe, the finish. If they show 3 photos, there's usually a common theme. And we can then confirm that theme with them and then rank their other preferences. Now, we have the data, the vibe, and next we must define the anchors for the actual haircut so we can avoid the tiers. First, perimeter length. We use body landmarks and we ask the client to participate and show the length with their hands if possible. Cheekbones, lips, chin, clavicle, shoulders, chest. Then we ask one of the most important questions. If I'm going to be wrong with my haircut, should I err on the side of shorter or longer? And that lets us know their comfort with length variability. Like some people with short hair would like to have it a little bit shorter to make it last a little bit longer. And then we account for the bounce factor. We estimate based on the experience and intuition that we have, and we ask any other clarifying questions we want to know about their hair's behavior. And when the perimeter shifts dramatically in a haircut, we would assess the body markers at each different points to confirm those points. Then we confirm the silhouette. And we use our hands to show the shape that we're planning on building. Is it going to be round or is it going to be more oval? Or is it going to be more boxy and square? And get any other further questions we have out of the way about the process, the timing, or the price. And make sure that they are encouraged to speak up throughout the service if they ever have any questions or concerns. Contextual consultations are your best chance to ensure the 5-star review always goes both ways.